Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Rabbit Tabby Cat here tonight. Tonight I'm going to show you my little projects for my creative writing, and I'm going to read them out if you want. I think I will just do one, and then I'll just show you the, how I made it basically, if I still have the rough drafts, because I'm trying to keep the rough drafts as proof of how I was doing it. So this is the binder that I bought, which was 20 bucks at Walmart. It's kind of nice. It has this little thing right here. What the hell is that? So yeah, you open it up. There's a zipper right here, and then it has multiple multiple things. There's a little thing here, a little zipper. You unlock that. Then there's more little sleeves, and then I can't show you this. This is that project I was telling you about that's going to take months. That's going to be my big creative writing project. So we close that. And of course you got the metal rings, of course, and then here's another sleeve of stuff with the zipper. And you open that. Has another thing of sleeves, and then another thing that you put your pens or pencils or whatever. I like to put my safety pin or my paper clips in there. So, okay, so all right, I will give you, oopsies, let me see if I have a rough draft of the first one here. I got a big pile of papers here. Let's first stuff. What's this? Yeah, not that. Alright. What's this? Okay. That's something else. It's not that. Not that. What's this? I think this might be it. Maybe. No, I don't think this is it. It might be it. I don't know. Oh, yeah. So this is the rough draft of the first and the second, actually. And the third. Okay, the first, second, and third. Sure, why not? Alright, so... Okay, that's the sunset. Oh? Yeah, okay. These are two different ones. Okay, so... I need to label those. Okay, so the one I'm about to read you, okay? So I think this was the second attempt. Yeah. Okay. So the one I'm about to read you is based off of what I told you in one of my videos. It's basically a woman who's not very, doesn't like how she looks, so she's very self-conscious, and she's trying everything possible to I didn't go really into more details other than of how she looks basically. So these are the papers that I did. This was my first attempt, even though it was not very much, and these are all feelings and emotions and whatever. So okay, and this was my second attempt, and actually this was the last attempt before this is the second attempt here where the line ends. That's the end of it, and then down here is the third attempt. So alright, so that didn't take long. It took maybe a day or two, maybe, if anything. So I will show you what the paper looks like. I did the final copies in lovely colorful paper. This one's in green, and so is the second one too. So okay, I will read that out loud to you guys, and I'm sorry if I stutter a lot. I don't feel very comfortable reading out loud, so I figured this might be a good idea to practice myself for that skill. Alright, so let me put this stuff back. I actually need to label that too. Okay, y'all ready? Alright. Now, as I said, this is just the POV. This ain't from my point of view. This is not from anybody. This is basically what I see in the world. Basically, I've taken perspective. If it was technically, I would say me, but I'm not, obviously. Okay, so I groan with frustration as I gaze upon myself within the mirror before me. I slowly turn to the left to show the side of my body, my naked body. I inhale sharply, seeing my belly being pulled in by my abdominal muscles, which revealed a hint of my rib cage framing underneath the skin. As I slowly exhaled, my belly filled the gap again and my rib cage disappeared. I sighed inwardly before taking my right hand and pinching at the skin of my waist with my fingers firmly, pulling outward as far as the skin will go. I felt disgusted with myself. I cursed inside my head and even repeated the words, ugly, fat, worthless. My self-esteem started to plummet downward like a tornado from a wall cloud. My confidence flatlined like someone died on the table of an operating room. At this point, I knew I needed help, but how was the question. And this, again, is basically a person who's not very happy with how she looks. It's more like a person who's suffering from, like, an eating disorder. She's skinny. She isn't fat. She's skinny, I would say, like, 125 pounds at least. But yeah, that's that point of view. POV, as I like to call them. I can show you the second one that I worked on and the rough draft copy of it as well. So, okay. That was that. That's the first one. Here's the second one right here. Okay, so here's the second one. It's not front and back. I thought it was. But that's the first rough draft, and there's a lot of editing, as you see. And it's all in purple pen, I know. That's because I love purple, and I like to work with purple. But that's my rough draft, and along with the edited version as well. I did have another version. Actually, the first version. This is actually like the actual last version when it was edited. But, okay, so, and here's the final product. Nicely written. And this one is more of a calming feel to it. It doesn't have anything like stressful related to it. This is more like a guided imagery, if anybody knows what that is. Alright, hold on a second. Before I do anything, I need to plug in my charger for my phone here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I watched the sunset in the horizon on the deep blue water. The rays of the light caressed my skin with its remaining warmth. I sat watching upon a white sandy beach in a towel-covered white lounge chair with a crisp lemonade drink on the side table. The gentle ocean breeze swept across my skin like a feather. As I gazed up and down the beach, there was no one to be seen or to be found. It was always a good thing for me to be alone, especially now on the beach, watching and enjoying the setting sun. The brilliant colors of red and orange remained in the sky before fading away, while dusk became a spectacular dark abyss of nothingness. No stars to be seen just yet. It was indeed a beautiful sight, almost like Christmas morning. I slowly sank back into the towel that laid upon the lounge chair, gazing up at the sky as it faded into night. The stars started to appear in the sky. A wondrous sight it was, seeing them sparkling like someone poured a cup of glitter throughout the sky above me. I soon slipped off into dreamland while enjoying the peacefulness of the night that surrounded me. So this was done July 10th at 8:26 a.m. Now, the first one that I just read before this one was done July 8th, 2020 at 7:17 p.m. And then I don't know if anybody would be interested in my, because these POVs get longer and longer, and that's just, yeah. Just wait till you see my tornado experience. The tornado experience. Yes, I did one based off of something that I really love, which is tornadoes, which I'll go into a different video. Alright, so this one is based off of an experience that I went through many years ago. I was in a very bad abusive relationship. And, yeah. Needless to say, this is the one where I had to add more stuff into it to make it more interesting, because honestly, I remember very little of it, and I kind of sort of wanted to put myself out there in a vulnerable state, expressing that abusing women is not right, and justice should be served for those who hurt, or not just women, but like anybody. Even a freaking animal. Anybody who fucking harms or tries to kill an animal or even a person should have freaking justice against them, because what the fuck are you? You're a monster. But anyways, this is my experience. As I said, most of it, I would say, as I said, most of this I had to add more stuff to because I couldn't really remember much. I remember certain points. I'm not going to pinpoint them out because I don't want to interrupt whatever is going on. So this one is based off of my experience of being abused, and this was actually the turning point where I was done with the relationship too. So here's the rough draft, the final draft. And then the back. Oh, the back. Sorry. The back. So, yeah. Forgive me, it's backwards, I know, sorry. Alright, so here we go. I was sitting on the edge of my bed when he came through the doorway with a look on his face that alarmed me. He walked up in front of me, and with a swing of his arm, he backhanded me on the side of my face. I fell back onto the bed. Putting my hand to the side, he smacked me. At this point, tears started to well up in my eyes as I glared at him. His hand collided with my face again, causing blood to drip from my lip down my chin. I tried protecting my face with my hands, my body trembling in fear of what he will do next. Afraid, I tightly shut my eyes, and only to feel him strike me again, not with his hand, but with a handheld mirror that shattered over my head. My body already hurting all over, he grabbed a fistful of my hair. He then slammed my head into a brick wall behind me, knocking me completely unconscious. My body felt limp onto the bed. When I awoke, I was surrounded by bright light. Did I die and go to heaven? Is this what heaven is like? Then I started to hear distorted voices surround me. I couldn't make out or understand who it was or what they were saying. Feeling lightheaded, I passed out again. Opening my eyes sometime later, I saw the doctor and nurse examining me and checking my vitals. I heard the doctor speaking in a calming voice saying I was in the hospital and that I was safe. I asked the doctor if he was here, and the doctor slowly nodded his head in a yes response. I groaned in annoyance before turning in my bed to the other side, tightly shutting my eyes, forcing the tears from creeping up into my eyes. A few minutes later, he appeared in my room with a smirk across his face. I quickly huddled myself up with my knees to my chest. I started to tremble once again. He slowly came up to me again before I realized I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Get away from me! The doctors came running in with police behind them, and the police tackled him to the floor, slapping cuffs on his wrists. Where the heck was I? I watched him get escorted out of the room. Tears started to pour down my cheeks. One of the nurses wrapped her arms around me and held me as I cried into her shoulder. I felt relieved, scared, and somewhat worried, not knowing what was gonna happen now. The captain of the police came into the room saying, "He will be taken care of." The captain then asked me a series of questions, and I answered honestly as possible. I told the policeman that I wanted a PFA against him. That's for that. Yeah, that's a little... Wow. It took me a bit to... I got a little lost for words with that one. It started giving me memories. But this was completed on July 22nd. At 2 a.m. in the morning, my time. Alright, so the next one is my favorite, which is what took me the longest before I did the next one, which is another one of my favorites. So this one is... Okay, that's the first copy. I don't know. Oh, right here. So the next one is based off a first tornado experience. Now, I've never experienced a tornado in my life. And God be damned if that actually ever happens, because I'd be the happiest person in the whole freaking world. Call me crazy, I don't care. I love tornadoes. I've loved tornadoes ever since I was a little girl because of my mom. That's all her fault. I think this was the first copy. Okay, yeah, this one's the one with his editing. Okay, so here's the first rough draft. This was the one that I worked on first. And it's front and back. Yes, there's a lot of writing. And there's another one. And then the back. Did I do that right? Yeah, okay. So that's the first rough draft. And then here's the one that my boyfriend edited for me. This is the final rough draft before I actually made it and put it on nice paper. So here's that. A lot of editing going on with this one. A lot. a lot. See, when I have something that I love writing or whatever I have an interest in, this is what happens. This is the final page. So as I said, this is based off of a tornado experience. Actually, this one's actually from a mill, and I think this is the one where I tried to introduce names to. So if I don't say enough, I mean, this ain't from anybody's point of view. This is just based off of what would happen if someone experienced a tornado for the first time. And this would not be my reaction, honestly. I would be fucking doing fucking laps around the freaking house like, yes. I would not be scared. I mean, there might be some hits of fear, but, like, there would be more excitement than fear, honestly. Like, adrenaline and stuff. So, yeah. Call me crazy, I don't care. But, yeah, this is based off of first experience of a tornado. And this is more like a time-by-time trial period type. What I mean, you'll see. So, Alright, there's that. Okay, and I'll show you the final product. Alright. Final product. Oops. That's the first page. Oops, hold on. There we go. First page. And then second page. Third page. Then fourth. So, as I said, this is the first time tornado experience. This took some time, but I think this was the longest one that I did. The shark one wasn't as bad. It didn't take long. This one took forever, it seemed like. Alright, so it's called My First Tornado Experience, and it's from a point of view of a male. A guy, whatever. So you'll see the reference here in a second. I was relaxing on the couch watching The Transporter and drinking a cold beer when my phone went off. The screen lit up showing a notification from the weather service stating a thunderstorm watch was issued for my area. Paying no mind, I continued watching the movie and drinking my beer. 30 minutes later, the movie ended and I looked at the clock on the coffee table. It read 2:15 in the afternoon, p.m. I lost my place. There it is. Sighing, I got up from the couch and walked into the kitchen, glancing for only a moment out the window. The sky was growing dark and gray. I went to the fridge, grabbing another cold beer, when my phone went off again with another notification. The weather service issued a severe thunderstorm warning for my area. Thinking a normal storm wouldn't affect anything other than the power and the internet. I went to the closet, grabbing the candles and matches. I walked to the front door, opening it up and stepping out onto the porch. I glanced up at the sky, watching the clouds growing darker by the minute. Hints of lightning flashed before my eyes with thunder following afterwards. As I took a seat on the swing, it began raining and the wind started to pick up. I sat on the swing while watching everything unfold before me. It started to pour down rain and the wind was gusting up to at least 40 to 50 miles per hour. The weather was starting to get crazy before me. The power started to flicker off and on. I got up and went inside to start setting up the candles around the house while lighting them. The power then went out and stayed out. My phone then began beeping and lighting up again. This time the notification was for a tornado watch, which was weird. I shrugged, thinking a tornado would never happen. Lighting the last candle, my phone went off again. This time the screen flashed red, indicating a tornado warning. Running out of the front door, everything was calm. No rain and no wind. Though I can hear something roaring in the distance. Looking up at the sky, it was no longer gray, but more of a dark green hue. While gazing up, I started seeing things fly in the air. Then I saw it. The tornado. I was literally frozen to the spot, unable to look away. I continued to watch the tornado destroy houses and buildings before me. A hint of fear spiked within me, but I just could not pull myself away. I was in awe of the powerful force. The sound of the tornado was like a freight train. The sound of was the stuff of nightmares. Seeing the tornado come towards my house, I ran inside, slammed the door shut behind me. Grabbing my cell phone, I ran to the cellar door, swinging it open forcefully. I ran down the stairs into the cellar. The house started shaking around me. I went to the tool bench, grabbing the lantern and matches. Then, as I headed back, I grabbed a blanket to cover and protect myself with, before running into the bathroom and closing the door behind me. I got into the bathtub, draping the blanket over me as the tornado got closer to my house. Then everything went silent. I took a moment to look down at my phone, seeing there was a message from my mother that was sent 10 minutes ago. I tried to send a text and tried calling, but my phone died. Groaning in frustration, I kicked the side of the tub I was in before the whole house imploded around me and I was lifted off the foundation. The tornado was above my head. The winds were incredibly powerful. The blanket that covered me for protection was blown off of me, exposing me in my surroundings. Without realizing, I covered my head with my arms as everything was flying around me. The sound of the tornado was deafening, and my ears were popping from the pressure. Suddenly, the tornado picked up the tub I'm in, and it flung me into the air. Then something hit me in the back of the head, knocking me out completely. When I came to, I felt something dripping on me and felt so much pain in my head. I tried to open my eyes, but all I could see was darkness around me. As I became aware of myself, I noticed that something was pinning me down on my legs and chest. I tried pushing with what might I had, but whatever it was wouldn't budge. I began to worry, and thoughts started race in my head. Would anyone be able to find me? Where am I? I heard my survival instincts kicked in as I began yelling at the top of my lungs, "Help! Anyone out there? I need help." I heard sirens coming and going past me as I continued to yell for help. Suddenly, I heard voices around where I was at. I tried again with all my might to see if I could budge whatever it was on my chest, which, to my surprise, worked. It was a small slab of drywall. I was able to wiggle my legs out, thankfully. I started to notice the flashes of light seep through the cracks of whatever I was under or in. As I started to yell, I got hit in the back of the head by something hard, which knocked me out once again. All I remember is, this needs to stop happening because it's giving me a headache. And that was supposed to be funny. Trying to open my eyes, my surroundings was so bright. I decided to keep my eyes shut, but was barely able to make out what people were saying. Falling into the rabbit hole, I relived everything that happened, which caused me to scream awake, startling the people in the room. I heard one of them say, "It's okay. Breathe, Jackson. You're in the hospital." I tried to sit up. Where the hell am I? Oh. I tried to sit up but was pushed back down by a nurse. I felt my head hurt more and more before a male voice spoke to me saying he was my doctor. He told me something I didn't want to know. My mother was found in a nearby pasture dead. Throwing a fit for a minute or two and crying my eyes out because my mom's dead. I then asked of how long I've been in here. They told me a week. I just couldn't believe I survived a tornado, which confirmed to be what the meteorologists consider an F3. My house and my mother's house, along with others, were destroyed. 85 people lost their lives. 500 were injured, including myself. It's amazing of how a force of nature can hurt and destroy a population. So that was not my first experience, but Jackson's first experience. It's just a guy. So I could keep going. I have one more, or I can just stop right there and I can save this one and then just basically, this is the new one that I'll be working on, that I'm actually in the process of working on. But yeah, so I can stop or I can keep going. But I think honestly I might stop and leave this one for, you know, whatever. So I'm going to end the video there. I will talk to y'all later. I want to go check and see if there's anything updated about the PS5 or Xbox, whatever. I'll let you guys know what's going on, and I will see y'all later. Bye.